This is the Iron Sharpens Iron movement, sharing insights into the power of people-centric leading.
Well, we made it, everybody. Episode 50, or what we're going to call the end of season 1. You know, what an amazing journey it's been for this last year, and wanted to do a little bit of a recap here. I also recorded a podcast episode entitled Practice What You Preach. And that's what I really want to think about. I want to think about, we've interviewed amazing amount of talent in the last year. And are we going to practice what we've been preaching to all of us within the Iron Sharpens Iron movement about what we do? So this is kind of a little bit of self-reflection and a little bit of a sneak preview into what's going to happen for season 2. So practice what you preach. That's going to be the name of it. And, you know, I want to consider myself a servant leader. But in one of the episodes, I called myself a steward leader. And that's a big difference, right? Moving from just servant leadership to being a steward of the art and science of leading is kind of the right saying when you think about it, that we owe others to do well, not only giving our powers away so that others can be lifted up, but also making sure that whatever platforms that we can do to talk about the power of leading, that's what we need to do. So that's what we're going to do. So upon reflection, right, in 2019, I went around the world. I went to Europe, Africa, the Middle East, and South Asia. And I interviewed some of the most amazing leaders. It didn't matter what business they were in, at what scale they were at, but they were all business leaders. And the one theme that came out was the art of human-centric leading. Doesn't matter about big data. It doesn't matter about the fourth industrial revolution. It doesn't matter about AI. What it matters is human-centric leading. People matter. And so that was a really cool theme that I picked up on. And as we came back out of that trip, we were going to do the same thing in North America and in South America. And 2020 was coming around, and boom, the pandemic hit. So how could we still do these things? How could we still practice what we were preaching by creating good leader content? Created a podcast. And that's when the Iron Sharpens Iron movement was born. So in 2020, we recorded season 1 of the podcast, which is 50 episodes out of the 52 weeks. We only did not record over Thanksgiving week and Christmas week. And it was an amazing journey. And it was something that I learned, quite frankly, a lot out of. And so as we've done that, I met with a bunch of my colleagues and I said, how do we kick it up a notch? How do we raise the bar even further? And of course, now we need to go to video. So we've set up a YouTube channel that is the Iron Sharpens Iron movement. And we're going to have 3 very unique venues out of this. The first venue will be the traditional Iron Sharpens Iron podcast. That'll be a normal podcast, but I'm going to include a little bit more CHROs, chief people officers, people that are more closely tied, the silent heroes, to human-centric leading. And I want to know what's truly moving the needle in the world of business when it comes to leading humans. So we're going to do that as a traditional podcast method, except with video. And then the second one is I'm going to introduce back my mindset moments. These were times when I were taking down notes in the interviews, and I have them for my own takeaways, but sometimes I didn't include them in the show notes. So now these mindset moments are going to be, through my eyes of 30 plus years of experience, what I think is the most important thing, or a foot stomper, things like that. And then the third venue we're going to do is the power of 3s. I'm going to give you 3 key leader takeaways in under 3 minutes. Should be really fun. So until we get the channel fully going, because we're going to have to reshuffle some things on how we're going to do the interviewing and the recording and the editing, I invite you to click below and subscribe, hit the bell so that you know when we come out with something new, and enjoy the preview of a couple mindset moments and power of 3s. So until next time, make yourself and others around you better every single day.